We're going to start with Arsenal and their interest in Brazilian teammates Bruno Guimaraes and Vinicius Jr. Let's start, Dan, with Vinicius. This would be a mega signing. What is the latest? Are Arsenal any closer to possibly pulling this off?
Look, Matt, as you mentioned there, it could be the signing of the summer, the transfer of the summer. But unfortunately for Arsenal fans who are all watching this, who are very excited about the potential of Vinicius Jr., it's very much tied to his future at Real Madrid. Talks are continuing with the Spanish giants around his contract. He only has 12 months left at Real Madrid. They're confident that he will sign a new contract, and that is where Arsenal come in. They're very aware of this situation. They very much admire Vinicius Jr. I mean, we saw what he was doing for Brazil in the summer. We've seen him, be such an instrumental part of this Real Madrid side in the last few years as well. So I think for Arsenal, this is a watching brief for now. I mean, they are very much waiting, like a few clubs around Europe with certain players, seeing how Vinicius Jr.'s position really develops at Real Madrid. And if there is an opportunity, I think they feel like they have the finances to make a deal like this happen.
There's still a few hoops to jump through, I guess, Sebastian. But if Vinny Jr. was to come to Arsenal, they are already the bookies' favourites to win the title again. Would you make them overwhelming favourites to do so?
No, I wouldn't make them overwhelming favourite, but I think, with all due respect, Arsenal have done what they had to do, to be in that position. And if Vinny Jr. would have had to come to Arsenal, it would have been a great addition, because with the experience, the quality itself, and I think the new challenge, that would make them even more dangerous. But I think, as Dan said, there's still a long way to go, because I reckon Vinny Jr. is playing with the situation.
Yeah.
He tried to get some leverage a few months back. It hasn't worked out well. Now he's in a situation that he's going to have to make a move. He's going to have to make a decision, and Arsenal is watching as the rest of the world.
Yeah, there is this lingering feeling in the back of the mind, isn't it? Is this a ploy just for Vinny Jr. to get a better deal at Real Madrid? We will find out in the next few days, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think the interesting thing on that, Matt, is, we understand Jose Mourinho also values him incredibly highly. And just some new information to bring you, Vinicius Jr. has this morning reported to Real Madrid training after his break from the World Cup. So, look, I know this is only a small development in what could be one of the transfer sagas of the summer, but go on, Sebastian.
But you touched on a very vital point, Jose Mourinho. Jose Mourinho want to make impact. That's his return to Madrid. He has to keep his best player. He has his plan in his mind. Now, Vinny Jr. is going to have to play a massive role, and I think Jose would be able to convince him. He has this thing about him on a human level. I think he's going to be able to keep it.
I also think Vinicius Jr. is going to need some clarity, as you mentioned, from Jose Mourinho. Let's not forget, they've also signed, or are in the process of signing, Yandy Amande, who, as we understand, isn't Vinicius Jr. But if you're Vinicius, you've been away for the summer, you see your club spend quite a significant amount of money in your position, that is going to make you think a little bit as to, are they already planning for, a route if I was to?
Yeah, well, Demande, he's unusual, isn't he? He's right-footed, but he plays a lot on the right. He can play on the left as well. So in theory, they could both be there, couldn't he? Play them on the right and the left. If it was to happen, though, if Arsenal were to pull off this coup, where would that rank in terms of Premier League transfers? Would you have that right up at the top in terms of superstar transfers?
Yeah, especially because where he's coming from, and he's not on a downhill in his career. If Vinicius Jr. would have had to come to Arsenal, I think it would have been top three signings. Maybe I don't want to say the top one, but it would be up there.
Would it be bigger than Haaland when Haaland came?
Yeah, because he would come from Madrid, even though Madrid hasn't been doing so well lately. Haaland came from Dortmund, and he was on his way up. He was younger, and he was trying to prove himself. Vinicius Jr. is already an established world-class player. Haaland was on the verge to become one, and he became one. So I think, it would make him on the top.
I'm sure everyone watching on different social media platforms can probably answer me very, very quickly, but I can't remember the last time Real Madrid or Barcelona's best player, or the best player from that league, arguably, a very long time. Someone in their prime, as you mentioned, still at a very good age, not towards the end of their career or unproven, has come to the Premier League from such a huge club like that.
Yeah, there's a kind of debate that will be raging in pubs and coffee shops.
Usually it's the other way around.
Exactly.
Usually it's the other way around. I remember when Luka left Tottenham and he went to Madrid. And when Gareth left Spurs, when we were there, and he went to Madrid, so Madrid is always, most of the time, the destination people are dreaming to go to. Now he could have been the other way around. I think he still plays a big part in Vinicius Junior's mind.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, this move is taken a lot of column inches because it is Vinny Jr. Bruno Guimaraes, though, seems like it's much more likely to happen, doesn't it? It's been rumoured for weeks, really, without too much progression happening. Where do we stand at the moment with Arsenal and Bruno Guimaraes?
Well, I mean, I mentioned Vinicius Junior has shown up to training with Real Madrid. We're still waiting official confirmation as to whether Bruno Guimaraes has met up with his teammates in Spain for Newcastle's pre-season camp as well. And, you know, the interesting part of this is, of course, Matthias Jesel has come in as well. We've not had official confirmation. Of course, Matthias Jesel has come in as well. We've not had official confirmation of his appointment just yet, but we know he is also in Spain. And as you mentioned, Matt, he is subject of a lot of interest from Arsenal. Now, as we understand, Newcastle are expecting contact from Arsenal, but the latest we have is there hasn't been that club-to-club contact just yet. Arsenal have been exploring what a potential move could look like through intermediaries, but right now it feels like there's still a bit of work to go before Bruno Guimaraes, if he does, is to leave the club. What I will say, though, is as the captain, you know, and he's captained them to their first trophy in 70 years when they won the Carabao Cup. I think we just saw how classy, you know, despite his own future being unsure, his statement fed Eddie Howe over the week, and I thought, you know, it was really great to see, despite, you know, he could be on the move to, you know, Newcastle fans forgive me, but bigger and better things in terms of if he does move to Arsenal. So I thought it was a classy move by the Newcastle.
We're going to get Sebastian's thoughts more from the Newcastle point of view later in the hour, but from an Arsenal point of view here, lots of focus, right, on the need a left winger. You know, that's an area they could have improved, some still question marks over striker. But actually, when you look at how they sort of tailed off last season in midfield, Zubimendi ran out of steam, Rice was getting flogged playing every game. Is this a really good signing for Arsenal in that they can then rotate their big name central midfielders?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think Bruno Guimaraes is one of the best players at his position, even worldwide, and I'm not shying away from that. I think for Arsenal perspective, it would be a great addition, especially because he doesn't need to settle in the Premier League. He's been there for years. Honestly, for me, he's a world-class player. And Arsenal would really benefit from his energy, and it would be a new challenge. And he comes off a World Cup that hasn't been great. I think everything is there for the taking from an Arsenal perspective.
Yeah. And his passion as well, isn't he? He's someone that really gets the crowd going. He connects with the fan base massively. Okay, as I said, we're going to get a lot more on Newcastle.